Hello again. Tonight we're going to be making a basic chili con carne with a Tex-Mex twist. Every time I make this, everyone says they always want more. They want the recipe or whatever, but I have not met someone who has not liked this recipe yet. Our main ingredient is mincemeat. It's beef. If you have any restriction on this, you can't eat beef, then you can use turkey or chicken if you want, but it will not taste as good. We also have pork sausage here in Japan. I use the Shaoessen brand because it has the best balance for smoke flavoring. All the other sausages are too weak and have too much fat in them. If you don't like pork, you can use chicken or turkey sausage or beef sausage if you want, but I recommend using this one here. We have salt here just to taste. We have taco seasoning. You can use this brand or Old El Paso or Casa Grande, Lowry's, whatever, but we're using 2 tablespoons of this taco seasoning to give it that twist. We also have 1 can of chopped tomatoes. We have canola oil, just enough to sweat the onions and get that onion taste out of there, the strong onion flavor. We have 1 can of red kidney beans. We have passata di pomodoro or passata rustica, basically tomato pulp here that we're going to add to balance the amount of moisture. We have a half cup of medium heat salsa here. You can use hotter if you want. We have 1 cup of red bell pepper or paprika here. We have 1 cup of chopped celery, and we have 1 cup of chopped onion, about a half an onion, and we also have 2 teaspoons of sugar to offset the acidity and the vinegar taste of the salsa sauce, so it'll have a nice balance. Okay, and those are all the ingredients. Let's go put it together. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we put a little bit of oil, the canola oil in here, and we're going to sweat the onions now. Okay, so we just put the onions in there. Okay, all right. Okay. I recommend using a non-stick pan for all of this. We only need this one pot in order to make it. Okay. We are also going to add the meat and the sausage to flavor the oil that we have in there. So flavoring of the oil will add a lot of consistency. Okay. And we're going to add the taco seasoning as well as we're frying the meat, because we're going to make it a little bit darker and roast it a little bit in this oil. We're going to fry it in the oil and have it infuse the meat with the flavor. That's very, very important. So we have the smoked sausage and also the smoked flavoring from the taco seasoning. Okay? Now, let's add the meat here. Okay? And we're just going to keep working on this meat here until it's about half cooked with the onions. Okay, so we have the meat here. It's about half cooked. And now we're going to add the sausage, go in there, and we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning. You can use less or more. You have to experiment. If you have kids, you'll probably have to put less. If you like something really spicy, you're going to have to add a lot more of this, and maybe add some pepper as well. Okay, and we're just going to keep cooking this until the meat is well browned before we start adding everything else. But the major part of the cooking is actually done. Once you get this meat cooked, all the rest is easy. Okay, so this meat is well browned now. Now, make sure when you work with meat, with minced meat, that you cook it really well. I've heard anecdotally that it's the #1 reason for getting food poisoning in a lot of dishes that use this. So you want to make sure that it's cooked. There. And now we're going to add the 1 can of chopped tomatoes there. Okay. And we're also going to add the salsa at this point as well. Maybe we can evaporate some of the vinegar taste there. Okay. And we're just going to fold it in like this. Okay. And we're just going to let it come up to a boiling point again, because you can see the temperature is dropping and the steam is being reduced there. So we're just going to wait a little bit longer. Okay, now you can see that the tomato here is just simmering here. The sauce is there. We're going to add the kidney beans now with all the liquid that's in the can, and we're just going to mix the beans in here. Now, as you've noticed, we have not added any salt yet because these cans of beans contain a lot of salt. So you're going to have to be very careful with this. So salt will be the last ingredient that we add. Okay, and we're also going to add the celery at this point now. Okay, um, and the paprika as well. We want to put it in towards the end, which will be soon actually. It's quite quick to make this because we want to keep it crunchy. So every bite that we have that's crunchy. I have made this with only chopped vegetables, whatever you want, from pumpkin, celery, mushroom, paprika, with no meat whatsoever, and it still tastes pretty good, but it's just not as satisfying as having the meat. Now, this is a little bit too thick for me, so I'm going to add a little bit of potato pulp here. Just to loosen it up a little bit here. Okay, and then I'm going to reduce it a little bit more to get the consistency that I want, and that tomato will add a stronger flavor. Okay, well, it's almost finished now, and you can just see the consistency that we have in here. And this is the way I like it. If you want it thicker, you can reduce it more, or if you want it a little bit more watery, don't add water, add more tomato pulp. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt here just to bring out more of the flavor. Okay, and I've tasted it. It doesn't need a lot of sugar today, so I'm only going to use 1 teaspoon of sugar there, just to offset whatever vinegar taste is there, and also some of the spice to balance out the heat that's there. Now I'm going to let this cook just a little bit more, and then I'm going to show you one optional thing that you need to do if you want to have it taste absolutely perfect. Okay, well, it's finished. It only took about 20 minutes to get all of this done. Okay, it was very, very quick, and it's good enough right now. If you're in a hurry, you can dish this out and it's ready to eat. Your family will love it. But if you have time, or you make this in the morning, what I recommend is to get a thermal pot. It's like a slow cooker, but it's more like a thermos that you can drop this pot into. This is called Gourmet Tech. There's also Shuttle Chef. There are other brands as well. I'm going to put this chili con carne here in the pot, and I'm going to put the lid on and just close it for several hours until all the smoke flavoring from the sausage and all the taco seasonings, tomato and everything marries perfectly into one uniform taste. And it's going to taste even better because all the oils and essential oils from the meat and the sausage are going to leak out into the sauce, and it's going to taste even better as time goes on. And this can keep the heat for about 6 hours without electricity. It's only a thermal pot, different kind of slow cooker. So basically this is now finished. Let's put it in here, and we're going to come back later and show you how it looks in the plate. Okay, and what we've done here, we've put the chili on a bed of tortilla chips here, salted tortilla chips, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shredded cheese here. I'm using Colby Jack cheese here. It looks a little bit like nachos, I guess, but I wouldn't call it that. And now it's ready to eat. It smells absolutely great, and this cheese is just going to add that added texture. One thing that I recommend is not using pork, minced pork, for this dish. The smell will not go well with all of this seasoning. So try and use beef or chicken if you're going to be using any kind of meat whatsoever. That's it. Have fun eating it. Bye.